Hey guys, welcome to another video. My name is The Hero, and you guys clicked on this video to find out what things you missed in Strange World. From hidden Mickeys to other film references, let's go ahead and get into it. Strange World is a heartwarming adventure filled with magical creatures, gorgeous animation, and a lot of fun. Like Encanto before it, Strange World is pure Disney magic that any fan of Disney films is gonna enjoy. From its visual masterpiece to amazing adventure score to characters that you just fall in love with, it's time to dive into the things that you might have missed in Disney's Strange World. So to begin with, we gotta start with the iconic name of the film itself, Strange World. And this is actually a deep reference to another property that Disney actually already owns. Back in the 1950s, there was an American sci-fi fiction comic by Atlas Comics called Strange Worlds. Yes, that's right, add an S to it. Which later Atlas Comics eventually becomes Marvel Comics that we know and love today. And as the name of the comic suggests, this comic was actually centered around science fiction and being one of the few things that people enjoyed back in the 50s. Humans are always going after adventure, and being able to read that through comic-told stories was a great way for Atlas Comics to connect to the readers. And when I learned this detail myself, I was actually so excited because I loved the film so much that I didn't even know that apparently the inspiration came from Marvel, which you guys know I'm obsessed with. That just tells me that Marvel's been making great content forever, and we're just now picking up on it, at least in the film aspect anyway. Another cool fact you might not know about this movie is that this is actually the first film to feature the new Disney 100 logo. It's been 100 years of magic coming from Disney, and what better way than to upgrade the iconic Disney intro with 100 years of magic, baby. Moving right along, as you get into this movie, you might actually find out that Jake Gyllenhaal as well as Dennis Quaid play the father and son duo that this story is centered around. But one thing that you may forget or not even know is that Dennis Quaid and Jake Gyllenhaal already played a father and son duo on screen years ago. They actually both co-starred in the film A Day After Tomorrow as the father and son duo in that iconic movie. And with such low marketing on this film, I'm surprised they didn't lead with that. What better way to connect adults to the animation itself than to say an iconic movie like A Day After Tomorrow having the same exact co-stars being in this animation for kids? But what is an iconic thing that you have in almost every Disney movie ever? That's right, hidden Mickeys, baby, and we're gonna go ahead and point those out right now for you. In the beginning of the film, you might have actually missed a hidden Mickey right in plain sight. There's actually a hidden Mickey in the plants that Searcher finds. That pretty much this whole story is centered around. You know Disney had to put their iconic mouse right in the center of the story. And of course, the other hidden Mickey that you can find in this film is when Ethan is actually entering the cave entrance. Now, for all you Disney fans out there, and especially Disney World fans like me, there is a familiar character that you might notice in this film. And that is Legend, the three-legged dog that resembles actually Rover from Carousel of Progress, which, if you are a Disney World fan like myself, is one of Walt Disney's original attractions and the longest running stage show in America. Plus, how adorable is a three-legged dog? I'm just gonna say it. Now, what's a Disney movie without referencing other Disney movies? It just wouldn't be right if they didn't. If you pay attention to the furniture throughout the film, you might actually notice some painted flowers that resemble another Disney film. These flowers actually resemble the same flowers that are on the door frame in Frozen. And one of the coolest references that I noticed in the film is one to one of my favorite Disney films of all time, Tangled. And that is when Ethan gets on the speeder and exclaims, "I gotta get me one of these," which is actually what Flynn Rider says about the frying pan in Tangled.
Mama, I have got to get me one of these.
Now, you remember when I said they also connected to other films, in particular adventure films? Well, let's take a closer look at the ship that's in Strange World. Callisto's ship is similar to the submarine used in Fantastic Voyage in 1966 and the submarine from the 1954 Disney film 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. And of course, they did this on purpose because they wanted us to pick up on these references and to connect to the old adventure classic movies. But the Easter eggs don't stop there. When they are running from the Reapers who are attacking them from both sides, it actually resembles the rope bridge scene in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, where Indy is actually caught in the middle of all the soldiers. Again, another Easter egg for the explorer in all of us. And of course, one of the coolest Easter eggs in this film is the actual names of the characters themselves. If you think about what their names actually mean, it actually shows what their role is actually in the film. Once you start thinking about what the Clad family names are, which consist of Jaeger, Searcher, Meridian, and Ethan, all of them besides Ethan coincide with terms explorers use. Meridian is a geological term referring to a line of longitude, most famously the center prime meridian, since she centers Searcher. Jaeger is another name for a hunter or a person wearing hunter's clothes, which certainly checks out with the character's personality and appearance. And then we have Searcher, of course, who actually doesn't live up to his name. Searcher's name is quite iconic considering how much he seemingly hates exploring. The irony that a man named Searcher doesn't want to do any kind of searching and would rather just stay on his farm is not just a joke, but a core part of his character. Searcher's failure to live up to his name and the future his father wanted for him haunts him. His disdain for Jaeger has a direct impact on Searcher's relationship with his own son, which reveals another layer of irony. Searcher is acting exactly the way his dad did. By pressuring Ethan to grow up to just be like him, Searcher is unknowingly pushing him away and down a much different path. And it actually makes me wonder if the name Searcher actually has a deeper meaning. What if this whole time Searcher is actually trying to find the way to be different from his father, and that is what his name is all about, as we do find out in the film. And of course, since Strange World is actually inspired by classic sci-fi and adventure stories, the creators couldn't leave out a nice hidden Easter egg for all of us Star Wars fans. If you blink twice, you might actually miss the reference to the iconic franchise and specifically its filmmaking style. One that can be traced to the fact that Strange World is referencing the same vintage adventure stories that inspired the adventures of Luke Skywalker. The makers of Strange World have hidden a pretty small Easter egg in a form of a scene transition. At one point in Strange World, one scene transitions to the next with the classic wipe effect that echoes Star Wars in a way that feels like it's a small nod to the Star Wars canon. The iconic Star Wars wipe George Lucas used excessively in A New Hope is an effect that has been recreated in other Lucasfilm projects, and even video game developers have found innovative ways to include it. With the wipe transition arguably being much of the DNA of Star Wars, it is pretty cool that they included this in this movie. And of course, we can also chalk this up to coincidence, but Strange World and Star Wars both have SWs in the name. But we won't dive down that path too far. So you guys remember that I said that Disney films always reference other Disney movies in their films. Well, what if an aspect of this film was actually influenced by a classic Disney movie? When it comes to creating iconic characters or even just environments in animation, a lot of animators are left up to designing their own feel of it. Well, in this film, the filmmakers had actually explained that a lot of the character designs, especially the creatures on Strange World, were directly influenced by the classic 1992 film Aladdin, and specifically Aladdin's magic carpet. The filmmakers actually loved the idea of the carpet in Aladdin challenging animators to express and give a personality to something that has no distinct feature. And this helped influence the creature design, such as the filter lops, who don't even have a face in the film. The outside-the-box thinking was key to communicating the alien nature that makes the inhabitants of the Strange World seem unique and mysterious to audiences of all ages. And I believe the direction they went with this was actually so unique and made the movie such a visually stunning masterpiece. Because no matter where you were looking on the screen, something was either breathing in the background, moving and wiggling, or just catching your attention by how breathtaking everything was. And sometimes the most strangest things can end up being the most beautiful. Whether it was connecting to other Disney movies or shouting out all the classic adventure films and stories from back in the day, Strange World will go down as one of the most visually stunning movies that Disney animators have made in a very long time. And whether it was all the things that you missed or things that you might have caught that I didn't catch, I feel like we can honestly all say that Strange World was a great watch. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you guys leave a like on the video as well as hit the subscribe button and the bell icon. That way you don't miss any of my uploads. Also in the description below, you'll see a couple links. You're definitely want to check those out. But until the next video, as I always say, stay nerdy, stay geeky, and I will see you guys at the movies. Bye-bye.